in this video, I want to share what I've learned from Alan about the life review. So every soul, when they cross over, goes through a life review. And he did that pretty quickly, from what I understand, both from what other people were telling me who were kind of tracking him as he went through his life review, and what he shared with me as well when he started communicating with me. So in the life review, you are going back and looking at the course of your life, especially looking at the people who you impacted because you were in a relationship with them. Now, Alan's saying that this includes like everyone you ever met, from a stranger on the street. But of course, those encounters are not as significant to you as a soul as the ones that you had with people that you're close to. So your close relationships like family, children, spouses, etc. Those are the relationships that you really look at when you go through your life review. Because interestingly enough, you don't really review so much your accomplishments, although he's saying that that's a factor. But whatever you achieved, say in your business, in other more mundane areas of your life, actually he's saying where the areas where people think they're the most important, like your success in the world, is actually not of greater importance than the relationships with those you were closest to. Because in truth, when we go through our life review, what we're really looking for is, were we able to give and receive love fully, better yet, unconditionally? And if not, where did we go wrong? And this is not to judge ourselves. This is not to put ourselves down. It's not about feeling guilty, although many times people do definitely feel great remorse, especially if they were cruel or mistreated people, whether they were people in general or especially those closest to us. So what happens in this review is you get to experience exactly what those around you went through, what they felt, what they experienced. He's saying physically and emotionally. So in other words, if you had abused somebody, let's say you hit them, you physically mistreated them, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel exactly what they felt, what they went through. And you're going to feel any hurt you caused, any disappointment. And again, there's no judgment in this. Even if from your perspective, that person's, let's say, hurt feelings were not technically your fault, or at least you didn't think it was your fault, you're going to feel what they experienced anyway. And of course, if in your view it really was your fault, at least you feel that way when you're viewing it, you're going to feel that and likely feel a lot of guilt and remorse. Once again, this is not to put you through those feelings of remorse. It's just a natural reaction. Because when we understand that someone we love was hurt deeply by our actions, or how we treated them, or maybe how we didn't treat them. Maybe we weren't as caring or as thoughtful as we could have been. Maybe we took them for granted. Maybe we didn't even give them much thought, in spite of the fact that we love them very much. So you get to experience all of that. It's for you to just see where you went right and where you didn't go so right. I don't want to say where you went wrong, because there's no really wrong here. It's more getting a perspective of how you did overall. Because as Alan said to me when he came back, he had so much regret and remorse because he loved me deeply. And he realized when he went through his life review that he didn't show me that love. he's showing me that he showed me just a scanty portion of that love, even though what he felt was huge, was so deep. It was actually so much that it overwhelmed him, and he was afraid to give all of that to me. And he's saying many souls do the same thing. Many of us right now in this life are holding back the love that we're feeling for others for many reasons. It could be that you're afraid that you're going to be taken advantage of. It could be that you're afraid you're going to be hurt. It could be you're afraid that person's going to leave you, which is what Alan was afraid of. The whole time we were married from the beginning, because I was younger than him by 15 years, he was afraid that I would meet somebody else, or that he wouldn't be able to take care of my needs or fulfill me, really make me happy as he grew older. So what happened? Well, he manifested that. He held back to protect himself, and not only did he lose out, I lost out too. We both lost out. So when he did his life review, he saw that and was devastated. He saw how hurt I had been for so long, how I'd felt unappreciated, how I felt taken for granted, and how I doubted whether he really loved me, although he could see through to stepping into my own emotions and seeing me clearly. He could see that I loved him as deeply as he loved me. And that broke his heart. So when he saw that, he realized that he had to come back. He was going to come back anyway because we had a soul contract to continue a relationship and work together. But when he saw that he had let me down, that I had believed when he passed away that I was never going to be loved deeply, that my love for him was just dying along with him, he says it made him cry more than I was crying over my own grief. He was feeling all of my pain and sadness and the not just the loss of him now in this life, but the loss of what could have been, the beautiful relationship that we could have had. And so he decided with great determination that he was going to come back and make it all up to me. And although it's been difficult because, hey, he's not in a body, okay, he's been doing everything he can to project his love to me, to let me know that he loves me, to remind me in many different ways, in many different signs that he gives me. One of the biggest ones is through music. He oftentimes gives me songs that I can feel his love in when I listen to them. And your loved ones on the other side might be doing that too. But as far as the life review, that's something that most souls often do right away when they cross over. Sometimes they might wait a bit. It depends how they transitioned. So if your loved one had a sudden death, or maybe it was traumatic. When I say traumatic, it doesn't mean they went through pain. It just means it was startling. They might need a little time to recover on the other side, but everyone gets help and no soul is left alone or unattended. Whatever they need, they're given. So it's really not necessary for any of us to worry how they are doing. Although I understand and we know that people oftentimes ask, like, I hope my loved one is doing okay. That's one of the first questions that people often ask of mediums. But Alan wants to assure everybody that they're better off than we are. You never have to worry, are they okay? Because even if for some reason they're not quite okay, again, they're getting help, they're getting assistance, they're getting support. On the other side, there's only love. So you never have to worry whether a loved one is suffering, right? But the life review is a big part of the transition process. It's something that when we cross over, we learn a lot from that, and we kind of assess perhaps what we want to do next time if we do come back to the earth plane. Or maybe we're going to go to another dimension. But in any case, we still look at and evaluate and understand how we did in this last lifetime. So I hope that helps you if you're wondering about the life review. You're going to do one yourself. I will too. And hopefully when you go through your life review, you'll get to see all the people that you did impact in a positive way. And if you feel like you haven't done that yet, it's never too late. So get started. Remember, the whole purpose of life is not about achieving big things, that, goals. That's like the extra. That's not the core mission that you're on. Everyone shares the same life purpose, and that is to give and receive love, as much of it and as often as possible. No one goes to heaven and says, I really wish I had worked harder. I really wish I had earned more money. I really wish I had been more powerful. I really wish I had been famous. Or I really wish I would have been rich. Really, the question we ask is, how well did I love? All right, so hope you take that to heart. And until next time, this is Pam Johnson and Alan, who's in the spirit world, but working side by side with me. And we hope you'll join us for another moment with us.